Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining us. We'll get started here in a few minutes. It's great to see some friendly names. Nice to see you, Adam and Jane, and see Laura, Wendy. See, I got my pin on too, guys, so no fines at Rotary this coming week. We'll give it about 1 or 2 minutes, let people join, and then we'll get started. Excited for our program today.
Lots of friendly faces I see. Hello, everybody.
Well, good morning and welcome to our small business workshop this morning. Let me go ahead and get started and introduce myself. My name is Darren Gale. I'm the Assistant City Manager here with the City of Brentwood. And this is our monthly workshop program where we try to bring business ideas for our small businesses. You know, one of the things that's really important in a community is that we really help, it's what in the economic development world we call it business retention and expansion. We want to see our local businesses grow. We want to see them thrive here in our community, and that's what this program is specifically for. So let me introduce our economic development team. So we have Abraham Salinas. He's our senior analyst and an economic development professional here with the City of Brentwood. If you want to introduce yourself, Abraham.
Good morning, everybody. Good to be here, always supporting the economic development team with the City of Brentwood. I celebrated my 2 years with Brentwood, so it's an exciting week for me. Glad to have everyone here and have a great presentation today.
Great. You can go to the next slide, Abraham. So a little bit of background. So these are monthly, as I talked about, business retention and expansion. We do have a tentative schedule for the next few months. So understanding kind of local, state, federal business resources. In April, we'll talk about tax basics for small businesses. And then in May, we'll talk about building and maintaining a business budget. And as always, each one of these programs are recorded and they are on the city's website, and they are here. We usually send an email out afterwards. So if you're not on our email list, make sure and email Abraham. I think the next slide has the contact information for Abraham, myself, and Ricardo. He's out today, but if you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Also, if you have a need in languages other than English, please let us know. We have myself, Ricardo, and Abraham are all bilingual, and we'd love to help you out at a minimum in Spanish. But we have other services that we can help reach out to people, and they can help us provide those services. So today, our presenter, Christy J, which I've yet to be able to get her last name. She just says it's J because it's so hard to pronounce. But Christy is the owner of Christy Confections. And as she likes to say, even gluten-free can taste amazing. And I think many of us know Christy for her baked goods and her gluten-free products that she's provides to our region. She's located here in East Contra Costa County, and we're happy to have her here. And at this time, I'll turn it over to you, Christy. And hopefully I won't interrupt you too much, but I'm sure I'll have a few questions during it.
No worries, no worries. Good morning, everybody. Let me go ahead and start by sharing my screen.
And while you're sharing your screen, I do want to say, if you have questions during, please feel free to raise your hand and put something in the chat. Watch the chat. We'll be sharing information throughout Christy's presentation.
All right, give me just a second here. All set up. Sorry, it's a little different on my end, so I got to move some of these little buttons around and hide some things. Okay, so good morning, everybody. First and foremost, where did it go? It just left. Sorry. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your morning to be here to learn how to boost your brand on social media. So I'm going to teach you a couple of simple strategies to attract customers and to maximize your reach. So as mentioned, hey, where'd my picture go? All right, well, my picture is missing, but you guys know what I look like. I'm Christy J. My last name is Jardim. It's Portuguese, and it always gets pronounced different ways, so I just say Christy J. I run a woman-owned licensed home bakery. I specialize in delicious gluten-free cakes, cookies, and more. Along the way, I've also learned how to use branding and social media to grow my business. And I want to help others by teaching them how to use these same strategies. I'm in my second year as one of the Brentwood Chamber directors. And when I got asked to be a director, one of the things they wanted to know what I thought I could help with was I thought I could help with social media presence, and not only with the chamber, but with our members. I'm constantly getting complimented on the things that I do on my social media platforms, which I'm like, what? No big deal. But people really like it. And I was like, well, why not help show them what I do? So here I am, and let's dive in. So today we will cover branding and identity, choosing the right platforms, creating engaging content, growing your audience, and maximizing your reach. So if you're able to utilize the chat, I want you to engage right now, really quick. Drop in your business name, drop in your name, your contact info. You may not know who needs your services. Somebody here might want to work with you, might want to collaborate with you. You just never know. So you can start the engagement right now. So let's dive in to branding and identity. So your brand equals your first impression, or the first impression, and the customer experience. So essentially, you are your brand. You need to ask yourself, what makes my business unique? How do I address the needs and solve their problems? And what do I want people to feel when they see my content? So when it comes to your content, you need to make sure that is consistent when it comes to logos, color, font, messaging. It all needs to be consistent across all platforms. So what makes a brand strong? Well, it comes down to a couple of elements here, and that starts with a clear brand identity. This consists of your logo, the colors, the design elements should be recognizable. You can take my brand, for instance. If you see, like some of my customers are actually here today. If you see my little caricature or my pink bubbly letters, you know that that's mine. If you think of gluten-free, I'm probably going to be the first person that comes to your mind. A cohesive visual identity builds credibility, it builds trust, and consistent in your branding across all platforms reinforces that recognition. So clear branding identity is very important because it helps customers instantly recognize, remember your business, and it actually makes you more competitive in the market as well.
So Chrissy, let me interject here, ask a question. So I think many people, when you talk about brand, they think of their logo. And you just said that the text, the fonts that you use is just as important as that logo. Is that correct?
Yes, very important.
Great.
So the next one that we're going to move on to is going to be emotional connection. People connect with brands that evoke feelings, that tell a story. Authenticity builds loyalty and long-term relationships. Strong emotional branding leads to customer advocacy. So my brand, for instance, I actually have decided in the past year to start taking to my stories. I absolutely hated being in front of the camera, hated how my voice sounded, stage fright. And here I am today talking in front of you guys, but I'm also taking to my stories because people want to hear your voice. They want to see your face. They want to know the ins and outs. And it's building that connection with your customers and It also builds a strong word of mouth for them to do free marketing for you. So if they're sitting here watching your stories every day, seeing the ins and outs of your business and how you're doing it, the struggles, the goods, the bads, all the things, they're going to be like, you know what? I want to send her business. I want to help her with her business. I love her, whatever it is. They're going to advocate for you because you're providing that emotional connection. Now, the next one is going to be brand consistency. This needs to be beaten like a dead horse, because if you're using multiple platforms, you need to be consistent across all of those platforms. You need to maintain a unified tone and voice, align your messaging. Now that goes for social media, your website, and your customer interactions, whether online or in person. It all needs to flow together and be consistent. This also builds trust, and it also strengthens your brand identity. The next one's going to be customer focus. Now, understanding your customers' needs and desires and pain points is why you're here, is why you're serving them. So you need to create content and services that provide real value. Engage with your audience, start to build strong, lasting relationships with them, because they want to feel valued. They want to feel seen. So me, for instance, my focus is anybody. It's not even a particular age range or gender. It's anybody that has celiacs, that is gluten sensitive, or prefers a gluten-free lifestyle, because anything that I do, those people are going to love. They're going to love my desserts. If you haven't had them, you're going to love my desserts, because I'm on a mission to prove that gluten-free can be delicious. I myself have celiacs. So if I'm not getting sick, you're not getting sick. And I also, in my stories, let people know, like, my kitchen is strictly gluten-free. Everything, anything in my kitchen that I use is strictly gluten-free, because I myself can't get sick. And I'm also the only strictly gluten-free baker within a 30-mile radius. So they know that they can come to me for safe bakes. The next one is going to be unique value proposition. So clearly define what sets your brand apart from other competitors. I don't think I need to tell you guys this, but I'm the only gluten-free baker out here that is a strictly gluten-free baker. So that automatically sets me apart from any baker out here whatsoever. Even if they try to be gluten-free inclusive, it's still not going to be as safe as my bakes. Excuse me, getting dry mouth here. So also communicate specific benefits that your product and service offers, and position your brand as the best solution to your customers' needs. If your customers don't understand why you're different or better, they're going to choose a different competitor. And then the last one is consistent customer experience. What you guys see is consistent messaging, but in my notes, it's consistent experience. So every interaction with your brand should feel seamless and positive. From online presence to in-person service, you want to ensure quality and reliability. A great customer experience leads to repeat business and referrals. So with all that being said, let's move on to the next slide, which is going to be choosing the right platform, which is extremely important depending on what it is that you're doing and your patience as well, because not all platforms are that user-friendly, and some take a minute to get to know. And myself, I only use some of these platforms here. So you don't need to be everywhere all at once. You just need to choose what works best for you. So best platforms for business, you have Instagram and Facebook, which is great for engagement and community. I use both of these, and the reason is because I have a younger audience on Instagram and I have a more mature audience on Facebook. And I want both of them to see my content, because both of them could be affected with celiacs, gluten sensitive, or prefer a gluten-free lifestyle. TikTok and Reels are a really big thing. I'm sure we all have heard enough about TikTok, and I don't know how many of you use it here. I personally do not use it. As far as the platform itself and what it has to offer, I do cross post onto it occasionally because I don't have the time to figure out all the ins and outs of TikTok. One of the things that I highly use on Instagram is the Reels. That's where I really draw in a lot of my customer base because I'm teaching them things about my business. Another place for you to have your platform is on Pinterest. It used to be like a girly platform, and you just go there to find paint ideas or gardening ideas or whatever it is, but it's really expanded into the business world, and a lot of people are getting their business seen, whether it's before and afters, pictures of cakes, whatever it is, people are getting seen on Pinterest. And so you want to try to utilize that as well. It's very user friendly, it's super easy. It's definitely one that I utilize myself. LinkedIn is a more serious B2B and networking platform. I highly recommend to use this, especially if you're promoting events. If you're teaching anything as far as a webinar or whatnot, and you want to get the word out there, that's definitely a platform that you want to post to. YouTube is another one that is going to be great for if you want to take your short reel and expand on it and teach your audience more on YouTube. So some of my videos I have sped up like times 10, so you can see me making a cake within like 30 seconds, which is not possible. But if you go onto YouTube, you're going to find a full video of that. Don't go on there yet. I'm still building my page. And last but not least, this is something that I use every day. Like, I'm not even joking. ChatGPT has become my assistant. I tell people that I have an assistant, and I do. One of them is ChatGPT. If I'm having troubles finding the words, I want something to look professional, have a certain tone, ChatGPT will find it all for you. It has even found certain health codes for me and my business. Like, it knows, it's AI. It knows everything. So you can talk to it like a person. You can train it to do the things that you need to do, because when you first sign up for ChatGPT, it asks you a whole bunch of questions. So don't tailor the questions to you personally, tailor them to your business. That way, each chat thread that you create, it's going to respond to it relating to your business, if that makes sense.
And Chrissy, can I add something? You said something there. You mentioned having a conversation with ChatGPT. I think that's one of the things that's key that people don't realize is ChatGPT is conversational. So if you're typing, what you type is different than a verbal conversation. So what
Exactly.
you might consider doing is using like a voice command on your cell phone or a digital device or a computer, so that it's more of a conversation back and forth than this written email. Because that's what it thrives off of, is that
Yes,
conversation. So I'm glad you
exactly.
used that word.
Yeah, there's been times where it has made errors that I have seen. And I'll be honest, I was in a predicament where I needed something really fast and I was frustrated. And I said, no, you did that wrong. I need you to like, I was talking to it like a person, and it was like, oh my God, you're absolutely right. Let me fix this. And then it goes in and it fixes everything for you. It's absolutely amazing. Like, then there's actual prompts that you can tell it to do, and it'll blow your mind. You can take screenshots of your Instagram bio. You can plug it into ChatGPT and have it optimize it for you so it makes your bio better. So that's a free tip that you're getting right here, right now for ChatGPT. You can put any kind of picture in there and it'll provide content for you. So how do you create engaging content? These 5 ideas right here are the most easiest ways to create engaging content. And it's something that I do all the time. They are not, I mean, yeah, they're in numbers, 1 through 5, but no one is better than the other. These are all very popular engaging content ideas right now. B-roll is the most easiest engaging content that you can make. You can easily set up your camera and have it recording you setting up your desk, typing on your computer, loading up your car, cleaning up your workspace, anything that you do in your business can be B-roll content. And then you throw a text overlay over that, and you can either grab your audience with a hook with that text overlay, or you can simply tell them what it is that they want to know right then and there. But I don't recommend doing that, and I'm going to get into that once I hit number 5. Number 2 is talking to the camera. People want to see you. They want to hear your voice. They want to know that you're real. They don't want to, talk to a bot. They don't want information from a bot. They want to learn from real people. So give quick tips, a bit of storytelling. You can easily introduce yourself, your business. You can do a Q&A. People do not know, your audience, I need to stop saying people. Your audience does not know if you are being asked certain questions or not. Only you do. And what I mean by this is you can easily create a question that you think is common in your business, and you can pretend like, oh, Sally asked me blah 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 blah, and you can give an answer to that. Only you know that that question is fake, but what you're doing is educating your audience about your business with that question. So that's just a really interesting idea that you can do right there, and throw in some quick tips with that. Photo-based posts are really good to use as well. But I would say that they don't get as much engaging content unless they have a text overlay on them, or unless it's something that is just really, really eye-grabbing. But the reviews, those get major attention. Product shots, brand shots. People want to know about your business before they go to it. When you go to a restaurant, or when you're thinking about going to a restaurant, what do? You hit the review section. Like, how good is it? What's the atmosphere like? Is the food good? What are their all the things, right? So you can easily do a carousel, which is just multiple pictures, like on Instagram or even on Facebook, of just all your screenshots of your reviews. My next one is just text only posts. These are just engagement questions, fun facts, memes. You don't have to be all about business all the time. Show that you can have fun. Show that you're a human. Show that you can relate to a funny meme that has to do with your business, because your audience is probably going to think that it's funny as well. And then number 5 goes back to number 1, and that text overlay. It's really strange, but in 2025, negative hooks are a big trend right now. And I don't mean negative as in being a negative Nancy. I mean negative as in grabbing the attention and highlighting a common problem or mistake or a fear that your audience relates to. So for me, for instance, right now I'm noticing that a lot of local bakers want to be gluten-free inclusive, and that's great. But there's a way to do it, and then there's a way that you're going to get people sick. And so I'm starting to use negative hooks like your what was the last one that I did? Oh my God, I'm brain farting right now. It was something along the lines of you're doing it wrong, so to speak. It's actually my latest reel. So if you go to my website, or go to my Instagram, you can check it out. But it grabs the attention of people, because I actually have somebody who is a baker who commented and was like, this is why I don't do gluten-free, because in my kitchen, you don't know if there's gluten crumbs hiding. You don't know if there's anything in your kitchen that's sticking around that can easily fall into something that's supposed to be gluten-free baked. So it's teaching your audience, what not to do or what to do. And it grabs their attention, unfortunately. Negativity lately is grabbing attention, but this is the good negativity. So I would suggest trying that out. And also, you can have ChatGPT help you with your hooks for your niche, for your business. You like I said, you plug in that information about your business and what it is, and then you say, check this out. I need some hooks. I need some negative hooks. I need, some B-roll content, and it'll provide that for you. It's amazing. So the next one, sorry, internet's a little slow on my side here. Popular content ideas on social media. This does not go in least to greatest whatsoever. These are all popular content ideas here on social media lately. And reels and shorts are a huge huge popular content type because people's attention span is really low these days. They say the attention span is anywhere between 3 and 6 seconds these days. That's why you see a lot of doom scrolling going on. So you want to create something that's going to be engaging, quick, that negative hook over your reel is something that's going to be engaging. There's all sorts of ideas that you can come up with when it comes to your reels and shorts that captures their attention. You can just take a look at my Instagram, for instance, if you want to look at how my reels are. If you go to anyone's Instagram page and you click on or you tap on the reel tab and it shows just their reels, you'll see that most people have text overlay on their cover of their reel because that's what people are going to see first, and that's what's going to grab their attention. Carousels and infographics are a really big thing as well because people want to be educated. They don't want to have to go to a website and search for the information themselves. They want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Behind the scenes is a really big one that I think it should be shown more because it builds authenticity and trust. Show those bloopers. Show that you're human, show that you mess up because it's relatable. Customer testimonials and reviews, I've already said that in the last slide, but people want to see that. I did one recently and it brought in a lot of business because people need to know that I'm a gluten-free baker and I'm here for them because there's a lot of people that can't enjoy desserts in a safe manner. So they need to know that my customers can attest that I'm a safe baker. And you want to educate your audience as well and do a couple of how-to posts as well. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm probably going to take some clips of this and smash it into a little post and direct them to where they can view this later since some people cannot be here today. All right, so a few tips to boost your engagement. I encourage interaction. I highly encourage that because I am the social media director for the Brentwood Chamber. So I see the insights when it comes to interaction. So when we put up a post and people comment, people like, people share, and they're engaging with one another, it gets seen thousands and thousands of times. It gets shared over and over again, and it creates excitement, it creates FOMO, and people want to be a part of it. So make sure that, you know, if you're asking questions and you're using polls, invite comments, spark that conversation, but make sure you get back to people as well. Don't leave them hanging because what's the point of providing this content if you're not going to talk to your audience? Keep consistently posting. Stay active with a mix of content types. You don't have to do B-rolls all the time. You don't have to do reviews all the time. Mix it up. And one of the suggestions that I would give is you can take a whole week and you can decide on if you want to do B-rolls on Monday, if you want to do Fun Fact Fridays, if you want to do something on Wednesday to let them know like behind the scenes stuff. You tailor it to how you want your audience to perceive you and your brand. And like I said, respond and engage, reply to those comments, to those DMs, and build that community and trust. That's highly important. Don't leave people hanging for a day because then people forget about what they were asking a question about or what they were interested in. So as soon as you get a notification, I know we're all busy, but if you want to build your brand, you got to respond to all of those comments and stuff. So in order to grow your audience, like I've been saying, consistency is key. Show up on a regular, basis. It doesn't have to be daily, but stay consistent. My viewers know that they can watch my stories pretty much on a daily basis, and I'll let them know if I'm burnt out. Like, hey, you're not going to see me tomorrow. You're not going to see me for a couple of days because of XYZ. But let them know because they're invested, especially when they start watching your stories. They're invested in you and your brand, and they care. So in order to help you with growing your audience, batch and schedule your content 1 day a week. Just take 1 hour out of your day, out of your week, and use a scheduler. Facebook offers Made a Business Suite. It has a planner in there. I use that sometimes because I'm now connected with somebody in our chamber that has offered a platform that allows you to post to 6 different platforms. So if you are interested, I can share that information with you at the end of this and connect you to that person. But from now, there is Made a Business Suite. There's Tailwind. Tailwind's pretty user-friendly, but it could be overwhelming to the eye for a new user because there's a lot. And you're like, what do I click on? What do I use? Where do I go? There's another one called Planoi, Later, and Buffer. They're all kind of the same. But if you stick around to the very end of this, I'm going to share something with you that's going to have who to go with, how much they cost, if they're free. You're going to get like a little workbook to take with you at the end of this today.
And Christy, just to give people an idea of time, about 10, 15 more minutes?
Look real quick down at my thing. Yeah, I should be real quick. All right, so your engagement matters. Like I said, reply to those comments and DMs and the story comments as well. Build your relationship. Use strategic hashtags to increase your discoverability. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. And collaborate and network. Partner with people who you compliment or who compliments you. I am currently have my stuff over at Boondoggies. They used to carry brownies and they didn't like the brand of the brownies that they had. And people were like, where's the brownies? We need the brownies. Bring the brownies back. And so I brought the brownies back. So if you want a delicious brownie, you head on down to Boondoggies, who I've collaborated with, and you can go get a delicious brownie. All right. So when it comes to optimizing hashtag usage, you want to make sure that you have a couple hashtags that are always like on your belt. Basically, you need a popular hashtags, niche hashtags, branded hashtags. Use a combination of these because it's what's going to get you found. So me, for instance, your business name should always be the first hashtag. So if you ever look on any of my posts, Christy's Confections is always the first hashtag. Gluten-free baker, celiac-friendly baker, local baker, East County baker. So you want to stay relevant to like your area as well, your what you do, what it is that you provide, because people do look for those hashtags. If you're having an event, you want to include something along the lines of the event in your hashtag as well. But make sure that you limit and rotate these and stick to 5 to 10 of them and see how they work amongst your posts. So that comes down to research and testing to see how much reach you get depending on the hashtags that you use. So I have a couple of sets that I use every now and then, and I'll just plug them in. And some of them I get more reach than I do on others, but I also don't want to use the same ones because you're not building your reach that way. You're just sticking in that same bubble, if that makes sense. Let's see here. So to maximize your reach, make sure you post at peak times when your audience is online. You can check out your insights on Instagram and Facebook, and you can see when your audience is most busiest, when they're most looking at your content, and you can tailor your content to make sure that it's ready for them to see at those times. Use trending audios and topic, especially for TikTok and Reels. When you're on Instagram and you see a reel and you see the music that scrolls across the bottom of the screen, you can click on that. It'll bring you to that music's page. And then at the top, you can click trending and it'll show you all the trending audio that is represented on that platform. And you can start utilizing those. And trending audio is anything that's under, I think, 250,000 shares. So you want to jump on any audio that's pretty much brand new because it starts to trend. All the other audios after that are kind of boring and old school and beaten like a dead horse, and people tend to just scroll past that once they hear the first few seconds of that audio. It's crazy. Encourage shares and saves. So in your post, like create like a call to action, like, oh, save this post for later, or share this with somebody who you think could find value. Create that call to action because it's going to get you seen more, and it's going to get whatever it is that you're sharing shared more. and repurpose content. One idea can be multiple formats, such as you can take, like I mentioned before, a B-roll of, like, say you typing on a computer, and you can use that multiple times with different text overlay depending on what it is that you're trying to teach your audience.
Christy, is there a time of day or day of the week that you think works best for post?
It depends on your audience. So when you go to your Instagram and Facebook and you look at the insights, it'll tell you when the busiest day is for your audience. So, like for the chamber, for instance, on Facebook, our busiest day, I think, is a Thursday. And then on Instagram, our busiest day is a Tuesday. But both days, our audience is busy at 6 p.m. when everybody's off of work. And so those are things that you can find on your own platform based off of what you're sharing with everybody. And so these are just some of the latest social media trends that are out there right now. Nothing in least to greatest, but AI driven content is being highly used, like using GPT to help you make your captions, help you make your hooks, help you sound more professional, it'll help you write grants as well. So if your business is looking for a grant, like ChatGPT helps you with life. Basically, it's freaking amazing. Short video dominance, that plays on people's it plays on their I want to say short-term memory, but that's not it. But everybody's doing the doom scrolling. The engagement needs to be high in order for them to be like, let me watch that. There's one type of content where there's this girl who she gets you really excited to see the content, but she doesn't show you the end. And then in the next reel, she shows you the end. And for some reason, that is getting her people. So you can do something like that. You can also use social media as a customer support channel. I use it as a customer support channel because I'm a baker and that's where I am advertising through. So before people go to my website, they're going to DM me and they're going to be like, hey, do you do this? Do you do that before I order? I want to know this, that, or the other. And even after, people will take to my Instagram because it's an easier way for them to get a hold of me because that's the platform that they use the most. So utilize that as far as being a customer support channel. It's not frowned upon anymore to reach out to other businesses and customers and people through social media. And employee generated content is so huge right now. People want to know that your business is fun, that you're not a strict employer, that your employees know how to have fun, but also behind the scene insights, product knowledge. That's all relatable and genuine, and that resonates with customers. So make sure that if you have more than 1-2 employees, that you're sharing stuff like that as well. And so business opportunities can be created via social media, like collaborations. When you're reaching new audience and using new trends and targeting that content audience, you don't know what type of opportunities are out there until you start doing this. I started doing, just on a whim, reviews of gluten-free snacks because there's so many disgusting gluten-free snacks out there. And now I'm an ambassador for a company that is strictly gluten-free. So you have no idea what your content is going to bring you. You just need to start building it, putting it out there, making people aware of what you have to offer and engaging with your customers. Just build that loyalty and that trust.
Can I add some of that, Christy?
Yeah.
I would also say, do your vendors, your customers a favor and share information about them also, right? And I think you kind of were saying that, but I just want to be direct, right? The
Yes.
best thing you can do for your customer or a vendor that you're using is share that they're either using you or you're using them, and usually they'll reciprocate. So
Definitely. So if you look in the chat, I put 2 content creators that I highly recommend that you follow. They're not necessarily content creators. I guess in a sense that they are. They're going to teach you a lot of tips and tricks. And they are 2 that I follow all the time and that teach me how to make some of the things that I make when it comes to Instagram. But you can also apply it to, whatever video that you're making, because you can put that video on any platform. I highly recommend being transparent. It builds trust. If people relate to you, you're not a robot. People realize that you're human. We all mess up. And life is not perfect. And the internet has you thinking life is perfect, especially these influencers on Instagram. So be transparent. Take to your stories. It's okay to swear. Just let you know, it's okay to swear in your stories. You're being transparent, you're being authentic, and people relate to that. So when you're sharing to your stories, make sure that you're telling a story. It needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Don't jam up your stories with a whole bunch of nonsense, because then nobody's going to watch them and you're not gaining any reach that way. Also, outside of social media, I highly recommend that you join a local chamber. You can join as many chambers as you want, but I highly recommend you join a local chamber in order to boost your reach. You meet so many business like-minded people. You might end up finding somebody to collaborate with. Also be a vendor at local events. That's going to get your name out there as well. It's going to get your name on flyers, your logo, and you know, people are going to see you and be, oh my God, they're at this event. I'm definitely going to go to that event. I know people get excited when I'm on events. And advertise and sponsor. That is going to significantly help your business as well. And I talked way longer than I expected, but you can screenshot this right here, right now, in order to get in contact with me. So do that real quick, screenshot if you can, because I'm going to shut it off my screen sharing because I need to find something for you guys as a takeaway for today.
While you're working on that, you know, there was a question that came up about being locked out of Facebook. Christy, have you dealt with that before in kind of the process?
If you're being locked out of Facebook, there could be a couple of reasons why you're locked out. It could be somebody has hacked your account. I have had that happen before. If you have a Facebook page, Facebook pages are really easy to be hacked. So I recreated my Facebook, and it's not tailored for personal reasons anymore. It's more for business. So I don't get hacked. So that could be the reason why. Facebook is really weird with their stipulations. So I couldn't tell you why that you're locked out, but if you email me, maybe we can correspond on, and maybe I could help you look into it further. I don't know based on just knowing that you're locked out.
Yeah, it's tough. I would say don't give up. Consistency with emails is key. I would tell you the idea of trying to create a new account sometimes will hurt your ability to open up your old account. So my recommendation is always try to work on that open account. Yes, you might be down for a couple weeks or a month, but that'll be better than you trying to open up a new account, new name,
Starting over.
similar emails, because then you sometimes that you know they're using automation also, and so that makes it a little bit more difficult to get an account started back up. So I hope that's a little helpful. If anyone has questions, please raise your hands. We can always open it up to live questions.
And I will have the link for you guys in just a moment for the document that I have for you.
Yeah, feel free to use the chat feature, Q&A. You can raise your hand and we'll allow you to speak.
I don't bite.
And yes, Raquel, you'll get a copy of the slides. And we typically post them on the city's website as well, and a follow-up email. Whilst this was also recorded. So if you can rewatch it, there was a lot of great content. And share it as well with any other businesses or peers. We're building this library for the business community, so please feel free to share.
All right. So,
Christy, so while you're sharing this, could you share maybe, I think many times we always talk about, oh yeah, this is what we do. It's amazing. It's great. Could you share with us maybe like a mistake you made and it's like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I try to catch stuff really quick because people see things really fast on Instagram. I'm known for my typos. So there's some times where I go back, I'm like, oh man, like that's not what it was, you know, but I try to catch them really quick. I would say I'm trying to be mindful because of my audience, you know, so I try not to make mistakes. I try to to provide valuable content. I try to I just try not to do that. So I mean, the only mistake that I did make was joining too many networking groups. Um, I was in over my head. I thought like, oh yeah, if I join all these networking groups, I'm going to get my name out there. I'm going to be seen. I'm going to be able to partake in all this stuff. No, I was unable to attend so many meetings and events, and I had FOMO, and it sucked. And I was like, man, I couldn't do that because I have a full day of baking, and so now I just stick to the chamber. The chamber has helped me significantly grow my business, and not just my business, but me personally. I used to be stage fright. I used to not want to get up and talk in front of anybody whatsoever. You couldn't even pay me to do it. Now it's like you're going to hear what I have to say. So the chamber helps you grow personally and in your business. So I would just suggest sticking to that. And then if you feel you can take on another networking group, then go ahead and dabble, but don't do too much at once.
Great. So Abraham, could you allow Adam to speak? And there he goes.
Adam.
Hey, what's up, Christy? What's up, Darren? How you doing? How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Abraham, always good to see you, man.
Likewise.
As Christy has mentioned, she when I first met her, she was shy. She wouldn't talk to any. She was very like, got her in the chamber, and she is just blossomed. And I'm so proud to see what how she's developed. So as president of the chamber, Christy has definitely expanded our reach, our followers are at an all-time high. So she really is knowledgeable in this space. We want to do more of these training and maybe lunch and learns with Christy and to teach our members and give value to our members. Now, Christy, real quick, I just heard this the other day, is if you post something on Instagram, you should like it yourself, and you should make a couple of comments, 2 or 3 comments, which will then boost your visibility. Is that true?
Yes. You should always like your posts. Don't listen to people commenting like, oh, that's weird. This person liked their post. You should like your post because you are the algorithm. No matter what anybody says, you are the algorithm. So what you like, what you comment on, what you engage with is what is going to be put out there and be shared with you. So when you're sitting there and you comment on your own post and you start engaging with your audience, you're starting that conversation, it's building up those views, it's building up that algorithm, and it's teaching it to keep sharing your stuff and sharing stuff with you. Especially if you have an event, you should definitely be starting the conversation. If you created an event page, if you're just sharing an event on your post or in your reels, you should always be starting that conversation.
Let me add something, Adam. So Facebook, Instagram, all these, they're always changing their algorithm. But I'll use an example of, like, let's say you get a negative comment. So if you had a great post, you had a negative comment, and that negative comment is getting a lot of activity. And this has kind of changed recently. That post or that comment sometimes will show up high on my page, like for your business, Adam. But as soon as you respond to that, it pushes their post down and your response up. So even on a negative comment, sometimes as simple as, hey, thank you. Hey, thank you for the feedback. We always, we're looking to make improvements, whatever. That will put your comment up on my page instead of me seeing the negative comment. So again, this is continuously like changing, but that's a great one where if you're not posting on it, the negative one is going to be up there and you will not be there. So.
And another question, that's great advice. Another question, stories. I know a lot of people have some confusion on this. Stories compared to post. So I like to post and then share the post to the stories, because you'll be surprised, especially putting some trendy music to it. I'll get hundreds of views on the stories and maybe a few likes on the post, which is reassuring to me as a business owner, because now I know people are seeing it and viewing it, whether they're liking it or not. At least they're viewing our content.
Yeah. You always want to share any post that you make to your stories, because you, believe it or not, you have people that just watch stories and you have people that just look at posts, and you have people like me that do both. So you always want to share things to your stories because you don't know who's watching.
Awesome. Great advice. Thanks, Christy. Thanks, Darren.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. I have a question in the Q&A. How do I access insights on my target group before we create a business Facebook or Insta handles?
On your target group?
It might have been Facebook group.
Okay.
Remember
So,
you had mentioned Facebook Insights, I think it was.
yeah, so I'm speaking of insights when it comes to your pages. I'm not sure that Facebook offers insights for the groups, but I can look into that and I can get back to you. So if you email me your question, I will definitely look into it for you because it's my curiosity as well if I don't know the answer. I'm a very curious person, but I don't think it offers insights for your groups. It should, which would be amazing, right? We want to see who's, you know, participating and all that good stuff, but it's mainly for your pages. If you have a business page, a creator page on Instagram, I don't think for the personal page it offers insights, but it might because they're constantly changing. Instagram, I swear I have to update it every week because they're adding something new or there's a bug. So like right now, collaborations are a really big thing. So if instead of tagging somebody and you want to get your post seen, add them as a collaborator. When you add them as a collaborator, it automatically puts it on their page feed so their audience sees it.
Yeah. So, Christy, thank you very much for your presentation. I think your last name in Portuguese means garden,
It sure
garden.
does. It's very fitting.
So I love, right, we live in this ag, based community. And as we try to grow our business, right, as you plant that mustard seed and it continues to grow, and as we grow our businesses, we're going to help each other, right? But you have to nurture it. And your social media and what Christy has talked about, you need to continue to nurture that garden. And as you grow your business. So Christy, thank you. Thank you for being so open for, providing us your contact information so people can reach out to you directly. Once again, this will be on the city's website. We will send out a follow-up email to everyone here so you have a copy within a week of this video. And then go back to our website right here and check out all of these different recorded workshops. And so, Christy, I thank you for your time. And I don't know, and hopefully you took a picture, but if not, you can go back and there you go. There goes Christy's contact information, but you can go back and watch the video and reach out directly to her. So thank you very much, Christy.
Thank
There
you.
we go.
Have a good
Good
day,
speaking in
everybody.
the chat. Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.